Today I'm unboxing and reviewing the KitchenAid Fruit and Vegetable Spiralizer attachment. If you've been curious about or considering this spiralizer for yourself, then this video is for you. I'll be walking you through everything from the unboxing experience to testing this in action, and be sure to stick around till the end where I'll share some delicious spiralizer recipes. I'm Allison with Simple Fantastic Kitchen. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. The KitchenAid Spiralizer allows you to make things like low-carb vegetable noodles and perfectly uniform slices of fruit, expanding culinary creativity and aiding in healthy eating. And it does the spiralizing for you. No more hand cranking like I've done in the past. I'm really excited because I've been wanting to buy this unit for quite a while and I finally own it, so let's get right to it and unbox. So I'll just remove this piece right here, which is part of the packing materials, but also what you would keep with it, just to keep everything in place. So inside the box, we have the attachment main body, which is this right here, 4 different blades, a fruit and vegetable skewer, and a peeling blade. What's immediately noticeable is that the box it comes in is also an amazing storage box. So in between uses, you have a safe and efficient way to store all the pieces. The box even has a magnetic closure, so it's even more secure. I like this so much as I've owned other spiralizers, and it was kind of up to you to figure out how to store the blades that were kind of serious business. So this storage box is a lovely and thoughtful element that KitchenAid has provided, and I think it makes the whole product much more safe as well. Now let's talk about the blades. So there's a small image on the top of each blade that tells you which blade is which. This enables you to easily choose the blade you want without having to remove and look at each one first. It's a really nice feature. So we have the fine spiralizing blade, and that creates spaghetti-like spirals, and it's recommended for foods like zucchini, sweet potato, and beets. And as you can see, the image at the top looks like fine spaghetti noodles. This is the medium spiralizing blade, and it creates a slightly larger spiral and is recommended for foods like zucchini, sweet potato, and potato. The image at the top, it's just a slightly larger noodle than the fine spiralizing blade. Then we have the small core slicing blade, which is recommended for zucchini, cucumbers, and beets. This is the image on top of the small core slicing blade. You can see that it looks like items that have a small core like zucchini and cucumbers. Then we have the large core slicing blade, which is recommended for items that have a large core like apples and pears. And you can see the image on top of the large core slicing blade. It looks sort of like a little apple. It sort of has a stem coming out of it, so you can differentiate them. Now there's also a manual here in the pocket where you can neatly keep it, and it's really quite lovely. We have a starter guide, and then we also have a few other items here. So this is just to help you get registered. And then finally, we have the KitchenAid manual. So you just store it right here in the pocket, and then it always stays with the unit. Now, this unit doesn't come with any recipes, but not to fear, I will provide some great ones for you in this video. All the items are easy to remove and place back inside the case to store. Always use the handle right here when picking up or working with the blades, as they are very sharp and should be handled with extreme care, just like any other blade. The main body right here is durable, premium metal, and the blades and skewer are made of stainless steel with some high quality durable plastic as well. Stainless steel is the only element of the blades and skewer that actually pierce and work with the food. In terms of care, the blades, skewer, and peeling blade are all dishwasher safe on the top rack and can be washed by hand as well. If washing by hand, please use warm soapy water and a dishwashing brush to clean the blades with one hand while holding the handle with the other. Always keep distance between your hands and the blade for safety's sake. For best results, it's recommended to rinse the blades immediately after using, and if necessary, use a dishwashing brush as well so the food isn't allowed to dry and become difficult to remove. I recommend always facing the blade down when drying or putting in the top rack of the dishwasher. There's a little less chance of accidentally cutting yourself when picking it up. The main body attachment should be cleaned by hand only with a soft, damp cloth, then immediately dried with a soft cloth. The main body attachment is definitely not meant to be put in the dishwasher and should never be immersed in water. Make sure all the attachments are completely dry, then put them back in the box to store until your next use. I have properly washed and dried everything in this kit, so let's get started. The Spiralizer attachment works with all KitchenAid stand mixer models. I'll be demonstrating the Spiralizer attachment on my KitchenAid tilt head stand mixer, which is such a wonderful product. I've had mine since 2019 and I have been amazed at what an awesome, powerful machine it is. I have never once had an issue with it, so I recommend these highly. So we have our main body attachment ready to go. And first we're going to unscrew the front hub cover. For stand mixers with a removable attachment hub cover like mine, turn the attachment knob counterclockwise to remove the attachment hub cover, just like this. For stand mixers with a hinged attachment hub cover, flip the hub up to open. It'll probably look something like this for you. And you just want to set this aside somewhere safe. Now you take the shaft housing at the end of the main body attachment, that is a square end right here, and you're going to insert it into the hub's socket. That's the square hole right here. And then you see this little pin on the shaft housing. This is going to slip fully into the notch on the hub rim. That's this notch right here. Let's go ahead and insert it. If you have any issues with making them fit together, you kind of rotate the main body back and forth until the insert works properly. And then you tighten it, and then it will go into the proper position. When it's in the proper position, it's going to be a nice snug fit there. And you make sure it is completely secured, which it is. So next we're going to install the fruit and vegetable skewer by slipping it onto the skewer mount and twisting counterclockwise until it clicks into place. Now you place a bowl or a plate under the Spiralizer attachment to catch all your finished produce. Oh, by the way, I got this wonderful bamboo slider for under my mixer, and it allows me to just sort of slide it anywhere I want easily and without damaging my counter, and I can lift it and move it easily as well. I will leave a link to this and all the products I'm using today in the description in case you want to check them out. So the Spiralizer has a range of food sizes it can accommodate. The food should be 1.5 to 3 3/4 inches in diameter and no more than 5.5 inches long. There is also a minimum of 2 inches in case you have leftover pieces that you would like to spiralize. You will need to cut the ends off your food to ensure it fits properly. Let's affix our zucchini to the skewer in the center of the zucchini's end as much as possible. Carefully press the zucchini firmly into the skewer. Now we're going to install the desired blade. I'm going to be using the small core blade today. Insert it into the holder at the top, and you're going to align the blade core with the center of the food. Pull the release lever and then push the blade carrier towards the stand mixer. So with an item like zucchini that can kind of flop down a little on one end, all you have to do is just sort of carefully prop it up just a little. Then you move the blade core in, and now you are in the center of the zucchini. So once the zucchini is secure, which it is, you make sure your hands are out of the way of the attachment, and we will start spiralizing. By the way, never have your hands near the attachment piece once the stand mixer is turned on. Any adjustments need to happen when the stand mixer is in the off position as it is right now. So we will start by turning it on to stir and then gradually adjust up to a maximum of 4 as recommended in the manual. After you've turned off the stand mixer, pull the release lever and pull the carrier away from the stand mixer to the end of the rail. And the next step is so important. You've got to remove the blade before removing anything else for your own safety. Just pull the blade up by using the handle and carefully set it aside. Then you can remove your remaining food from the skewer by firmly gripping the end of the zucchini and pulling away from the skewer. What you're left with here is just a little bit of a stem, and then here this little end. Doesn't this look just gorgeous? right? So as you can see, they're kind of an accordion shape. So what you would do is gather them into the accordion and then would just slice it right down the center. And you have these perfectly uniform slices of zucchini that are honestly, they're gonna cook uniformly as well. They are so beautiful. Here's a little troubleshooting. Sometimes you cut the ends off your food and it's still too long. You will see this in a couple of ways. Sometimes the blade won't insert properly, and sometimes the blade goes in correctly and you insert the blade into your food, but the mechanism won't work properly. The reason for this is that there are teeth on the blade carrier and they need to grip the spiral indentations next to them. If they don't grip, the mechanism won't work. And the solution for all scenarios is that you remove the blade first for safety, then remove the food and slice more off the end. You just put it up, eyeball it, cut it. If it doesn't work, you go ahead and make another slice again. As with all KitchenAid attachments, it's all about getting the hang of it. In no time, you will be an expert. Now, let's use the large core slicing blade with a pear. First, you prepare the pear. So we're gonna cut off the ends. Now, I do recommend if you have a very large side and then a smaller side, put the smaller side into the skewer. Gives you more surface area to catch. With the blade core, carefully press the pear firmly into the skewer. Okay, now we're going to put in the large core slicing blade. Pull the release lever, then push the blade carrier towards the stand mixer to align the blade core with the center of the food. You're gonna start on stir, and you can go all the way up to a maximum of 6 if you would like. If there's a little bit on the non-blade side, you can pull that off and then pull the release lever, pull the carrier to the end of the rail. You're gonna take the blade out and then you remove the core. These look absolutely beautiful. It's still mostly connected like an accordion, so if you wanna make slices out of it, you just put them into stacks and cut them down the middle. Now let's use our large core slicing blade with an apple. Let's use the peeling blade as well. First, prepare the apple. We're gonna cut off both ends and we're gonna push the center of the smaller end and put that into the skewer. Next, we're gonna install the peeler blade by sliding it into the bottom of the blade carrier until it clicks into place. Now, you carefully install the large core slicing blade by inserting it into the holder at the top. Now pull the release lever and push the blade carrier towards the stand mixer to align the blade core with the center of the food. You're going to turn the stand mixer on to stir, slowly increasing the speed to a maximum of 6. So I only went up to 4 on that one, but that worked great. That is a perfect peel. Look at that. Oh my goodness, this is beautiful. After you've turned off the stand mixer, check if any food remains on the non-blade side of the large core slicing blade, as often happens when you're slicing apples. So you're just gonna remove that carefully. You just slide it right off. Pull the release lever, pull the carrier to the end of the rail. The blade is actually stuck to the core there. So we can release it, and now you can see better that it's just sort of stuck into the blade. We're not gonna use our hands to get this off because that could be a real bad situation. So I'm just going to take a fork and I'm going to just remove. There it comes, that's it. And then it just pushes through. Please note, try to remove the food from the non-bladed side only, with the bladed side facing down. Though it's not the way I did it, it is the safest way to do it and the way I recommend to do it. Try to come in from the non-bladed side. Do what I say, not what I do. What you're left with here is your peel. Here's your core, which you wouldn't eat anyway, and then here is your beautiful apple. Right now, they're kind of like an accordion, you can see. So you just cut them right down the middle. And now you have these absolutely beautiful apple slices. Perfect. And don't forget to remove the peeler by pushing the lever down and pulling the peeler out. Now let's peel a potato and then an apple using only the peeling blade. First, let's prepare our potato. We're gonna cut off both ends And we're going to push the center of the smaller end and put that into the skewer. Install the peeler blade until it clicks into place. Now pull the release lever and push the blade carrier towards the stand mixer to align the peeler with the food as near to the bottom edge as possible. So we will start by turning it on to stir and then gradually adjust up to a maximum of 4 as recommended in the manual. I mean, this is pretty great. You have to take the potato off first. There's no way to take the peeler off first. Pull the release lever, pull the carrier to the end of the rail. Remove the peeler by pushing the lever down and pulling the peeler out. And let's look at this. There's only this one little front portion that wasn't peeled. Everything else was perfectly peeled. That's fantastic and very fast. And then here's all your peel. Throw it in the trash. So let's do the same thing with an apple. We're going to cut off both ends and we're going to push the center of the smaller end and put that into the skewer. Install the peeler blade until it clicks into place. Push the blade carrier towards the stand mixer to align the peeler with the food as near to the bottom edge as possible. Start by turning it on to stir and then gradually adjust up to a maximum of 4. This looks awesome. There's only 2 pieces that didn't peel, the top part here and the very bottom part here, but everything else peeled. Both of these peeled pretty excellently. And don't forget to remove the peeler by pushing the lever down and pulling the peeler out. That's pretty great. Both of these peeled beautifully. Next up, we are going to spiralize this zucchini using the fine spiralizing blade. So we're going to cut the ends off. And then just sort of hold it up here and you can see, okay, it's going to be a little too long because you can see where the blade is going to come in. Now we kind of know what we're doing. Make another slice again. Now we look at it here. I think that's going to work. Skewer it in the center of the zucchini. Now we're going to get our fine spiralizing blade. So we just put it into the holder at the top. We'll hold it up a little bit, move the carriage over. Press in nice and firmly. We're going to go up to a maximum speed of 4, but we're going to start on stir. Of course, the first thing we have to do is move the carriage back over and then remove our blade very carefully and set it to the side. Then we pull our vegetable off of the skewer and you can see what's left over. It's very little. There's just a small core left and then just the end where it went into the skewer. And then it made all of this. Oh, so beautiful. Perfectly done. So what you're left with here is almost like one super long noodle. Look at that. Like it's like a really, really long noodle. And so what you'll want to do is cut them. It depends what you're making. But if you're going to make like say zucchini curly fries, I would cut it probably about here. And if you're doing like a spaghetti noodle, you would cut it into a spaghetti noodle length. I like to do that with kitchen shears. And now we have a perfect plate of zucchini noodles ready to be made into a beautiful recipe. Now let's spiralize a sweet potato with the medium spiralizer blade, and let's add the peeling blade for this one. First, let's prepare our sweet potato. We're gonna cut off both ends. You can tell already, this is too long. Whenever you're removing more, cut it from the less thick end. Skewer it and then press it firmly in. So we're going to put the peeling blade on by sliding it into the bottom of the blade carrier until it clicks into place. Now we're going to take the medium spiralizing blade and use that. And we don't have to move the carriage over hardly at all to get it in there. Okay, so for this, it can go up to a maximum of 6, but we're going to start on stir to begin with. This is very impressive, very, very impressive. So let's get the carriage out and away. Let's get the blade out first and just sort of move it away. There we go. That way you don't hurt yourself. My goodness, look at all this. So this is the peel. The peel layer, this ribbon here of peeling was really exceptional, and we're gonna get the peeler off too. So this peel layer, I mean, it did a really good job, I thought. Okay, let's remove this fully. And then basically the peel and this is all that remains that wasn't spiralized. So the one thing about it is sometimes you kind of have to hunt and peck to find your pieces that are the peel because, you know, they kind of get intermingled with the spirals, but it's really not a big deal to me because it's very worth it. Look how beautiful this is. Oh my gosh, absolutely lovely. Most of these are like really long noodles. Again, where you cut them would depend on what you're making. So I would say noodle length. And if you want it to be curly fries, you're gonna want it to be shorter. Let's move on to the next vegetable. Now that we've worked with all the blades, let's play around with some different produce. Now, this is a gargantuan cucumber, which, as we know, only 5.5 inches maximum length can fit on this. So as you can see, this really could be divided into 3 pieces. You could do 2, but you might end up cutting off more than you'd like. So I would suggest dividing this into 3 segments because that way you're not going to waste anything. And then of course we have to cut off the ends as well. So now I'm going to cut it into 3 sections. Now we're going to make a cucumber spiral using the fine spiralizing blade. And again, we're only going to go up to a maximum of 4 on this one. This turned out great. So let's use the small core slicing blade with a cucumber. This looks so great. Now let's work with carrots. We will want to pick thicker carrots like these. Unfortunately, the peeling blade doesn't work well with thinner produce, so we will have to peel the carrots by hand first, which is pretty easy to do. Then cut them to the proper length, favoring the thicker side of the carrot. First, let's spiralize a carrot using the fine spiralizer blade. So I can see some lovely noodles, but I can also see a lot of little pieces, more little pieces than noodles actually. So I would say carrot noodles are definitely something you could make with this, but you'd probably have to use 3 or more carrots to make a proper batch of noodles. Now, let's use the small core blade on a carrot. This looks awesome. It just looks so good. And finally, I would like to attempt to spiralize an apple using the medium spiralizer blade. It sort of naturally peels the apple. You can use the spiral apple peel or throw it away. It's really up to you. Once I remove the peel from the batch, this is the spiralized apple that I'm left with. All that spiralizing was so much fun. Now, as promised, here are 4 spiralizer recipes I think you'll love. There's one recipe for each of the blades we used. For our first recipe, let's use our sliced cucumber to make a delicious Asian cucumber salad recipe. Now, you can leave them in groupings of spirals just like this for a really elevated presentation, but today we're going to cut them straight down the middle to make uniform individual half slices. Let's add these to a large bowl. Now add in 2 tablespoons of minced fresh ginger, 2 cloves of garlic, finely minced, 5 green onions, finely sliced, 2 tablespoons of toasted sesame seeds, 1/4 cup of rice vinegar, 1 tablespoon of coconut aminos, 1 tablespoon of toasted sesame oil, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, half a teaspoon of Himalayan sea salt. Optionally, you can also add in 1 teaspoon of sriracha if you like it spicy. Now, mix it all until fully combined. This looks so delicious, but how does it taste? This is so good. The fresh ginger, the fresh garlic just takes it over the top and elevates it. It is so refreshing and delicious. One really interesting benefit from having each slice be of uniform thickness, it just sort of tastes better. Everything absorbs a little bit better, I feel. There's something lovely about these delicate pieces that still have this wonderful crunch to them. The uniform slicing just does something wonderful to the taste for me. And this is just a lovely meal to meal prep because it's gonna be good for at least 3 days. And as it continues to marinate in the juices, it's going to bring out the flavor even more. This is wonderful. For our second recipe, let's use our spiralized sweet potatoes to make a curly fries recipe in the air fryer. Take your spiralized sweet potato and immerse it in cold water for at least 30 minutes to release the excess starch, which is essential for achieving that crispy texture. Then we make sure the sweet potato is completely dry. I usually dry by hand and let it sit out for about 30 minutes on a drying mat. Next, you will want to break the sweet potato into the sized pieces you would like for curly fries and place them into a lined air fryer basket in neat rows. You don't want to overcrowd them. Keeping them on one level allows the best chance of even cooking. Next, spritz the curly fries with avocado oil, thoroughly coating them. Put them in the air fryer on air fry at 375 degrees Fahrenheit and set it for 10 minutes. You will check them at 3 minutes and turn them over, and then continue checking every 2 minutes. My first batch was done in 8 minutes, but my second batch was done in 6 minutes. If your air fryer has a preheat function like mine does, and your fries are in there during the preheat, it's really adding about 3 extra minutes to the cook time. So for reference, my fries are actually in for 9 to 11 minutes. Because they're only in for a very short amount of time, just keep a watch on them. The key to successful air fryer sweet potato curly fries is remembering the 2 O's. Don't overcrowd and don't overcook. Now we transfer the sweet potato to a bowl. Spray them again with avocado oil so they are coated. Then add paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, sea salt, and pepper. Add as much as you'd like to taste. It probably works out to a couple of teaspoons of paprika, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, maybe half a teaspoon of sea salt and ground pepper. And then you're gonna mix it all together. I wouldn't use a utensil for this part, just do it by hand. Make sure it's thoroughly coated and then add more paprika and salt to taste. Okay, this looks so delicious, but how does it taste? That is so delicious. It's perfectly seasoned. It still has that crunch to it, and then it's sort of soft on the inside. These are absolutely delicious. For our third recipe, let's use our sliced pear to make a pear and goat cheese salad recipe with creamy homemade tarragon dressing. First, we slice all the pears. To avoid browning, you'll want to put these pear slices directly into a solution of cold water and 1 to 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. I like to have it prepared before I start slicing in the spiralizer. Let it soak completely for 5 minutes, then remove the slices and dry them completely. I usually dry by hand and let it sit out for about 30 minutes on a drying mat. While we wait for our pears to dry, we'll make the creamy tarragon salad dressing. You can make this recipe with a high-powered blender and a food processor, but today I'm using my KitchenAid hand blender with chopping attachment. I recently did a review of the entire KitchenAid hand blender and accessories kit, which I will link in the description in case you want to check it out. This recipe makes 4 servings of dressing. In the blender pitcher, combine 1 cup of Greek yogurt, 1 tablespoon of avocado oil mayonnaise, 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of sea salt, 1 teaspoon of ground pepper. And we're gonna do roughly 2 teaspoons of honey. And we'll use the blending arm attachment to make this perfectly pureed. Now we are going to use the chopper accessory for the other ingredients. The chopper blade is inserted here in the chopper bowl. So we're adding 1 shallot and 1 clove of garlic. Now add 4 teaspoons of dried tarragon. It smells amazing. Now transfer all the contents of the chopper bowl into the blender pitcher. Gently mix the ingredients together inside of the blender pitcher. Your salad dressing is ready. Now the pear slices are dry and the salad dressing is done, so now we can assemble our salad. For the pear and goat cheese salad, you just need a few simple ingredients, including spring mixed greens, chopped walnuts, chopped red onions, our sliced pears, and plain goat cheese. Now I am going to show you 2 ways to assemble this salad. One is for meal prep, the other is for premium presentation. Let's do the meal prep first. Instead of making it in a large bowl, I will use 4 smaller covered airtight containers. Then divide the following ingredients equally into each container. 12 cups of spring mix greens, half a chopped red onion, half a cup of chopped walnuts, 1 sliced pear, and 8 ounces of goat cheese. So per salad, that's roughly 3 cups of spring mix greens, 1/8 chopped red onion, 1/4 of a sliced pear, 1/8 cup of chopped walnuts, and 2 ounces of goat cheese. Now, cover and refrigerate until you're ready to add salad dressing to each of them. For premium presentation, add your mixed greens into a colorful medium-sized bowl if you have one available. This will be for an individual serving. Now, pour the dressing and delicately toss the salad. The reason we use a colorful bowl is because the salad itself has very few pops of color. So having a colorful bowl makes it feel a little more cheerful and elevated. Next, wipe the sides of the bowl down to minimize the mess. Then add only 4 pear slices so that the greens pop through. Then add red onion, the walnuts, and closer to 1 ounce of goat cheese. Pull some of the greens out so that they can be seen even more. And voila, you now have a pear and goat cheese salad with creamy tarragon dressing that's ready to serve at your next dinner party. This looks so good, but how does it taste? This is so good. So light, but it also feels substantial, you know? And the pear is just so refreshing with the tarragon dressing. It's awesome. The dressing is so fresh. The pear is just perfect. It's got a nice crispiness to it. Oh my gosh. I don't often use this word, but this is stupendous. And the pears, you know, you would think they're kind of large. I have to cut them. They're so thinly sliced. You can just kind of cut it in half with your fork. The onion and the walnut and the goat cheese just perfectly make it all come together, and the dressing is perfectly paired with the salad. This is an absolutely delicious, out of this world healthy meal. For our final recipe, let's use our spiralized zucchini to make an easy, delicious zucchini noodles recipe in homemade marinara sauce. 1 zucchini is perfect for 1 serving. Feel free to spiralize more zucchinis depending on how many you will be serving, or if you would like to meal prep. In a pan, drizzle some extra virgin olive oil. Add in your zucchini. Turn the burner on to medium heat. Cover and allow to cook for about 3 to 5 minutes. Stirring occasionally. I like to give a little spritz of olive oil on top as well. You're going to turn the noodles as you go. You want to try to make them not too soft. Think of it just like pasta. You want them al dente. Now you add in the sauce of your choosing. I'm using a homemade marinara sauce today that I made with the KitchenAid hand blender. This sauce will yield roughly 28 ounces, which is about 7 servings. In a large pot, drizzle 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Add 3 cloves of garlic, half of a white onion chopped into 4 pieces, and 28 ounces of Roma tomatoes, which is about 8 to 10 tomatoes. Turn the burner on to medium. Cover and allow to cook for about 10 minutes, stirring often. I usually stir about once every 2 minutes. Then turn the burner off. Then add about 12 leaves of fresh basil, 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of sea salt, and 1 teaspoon of ground pepper. If you have a non-stick pot like I do, you will want to use your pan guard on the blender arm to protect your cookware from scratches, and your surfaces will be protected. My kitchen countertop is totally protected, as the pans will be as well. Now we add 1 bay leaf, stir it in, turn the burner on to medium-low, cover, and allow to simmer for 15 minutes, stirring often. That worked great. Now add your marinara sauce right in the pan. And mix it in well. Then plate your zucchini noodles. Add in some capers and add a little Parmesan cheese to the top. This looks so delicious, but how does it taste? That is so good. That is so good. Do you hear the crunch of the zucchini? So it's cooked through, but it's not soggy. It's perfect. The marinara sauce is so delicious. I don't even know where to start. The sauce is one of the most perfect things I've ever made or consumed. You are having all of the whole tomato. We included the skin. We didn't take any piece of the tomato off. The onions, the garlic, everything was whole in there. It creates the healthiest, nutritious meal. The capers elevate the taste, and the Parmesan just takes it over the top. The freshly spiralized zucchini that is perfectly uniform, it absorbs the sauce so well. It is so delicious. This is such a wonderful, wonderful meal. It is so healthy. This is outstanding. And here's a bonus for you. We'll use our wide spiral carrots and cucumbers to assemble a really fun crudité platter. On a cutting board, add hummus, then surround it with cucumber spirals, then carrots, then more cucumber. Everyone can break off what they want, dip it, and enjoy. It's a really fun take on a crudité platter. Now that we've learned all about the Spiralizer and some fun Spiralizer recipes, what is my final review? So, is the KitchenAid fruit and vegetable Spiralizer worth it? I say absolutely yes. I love to find interesting, creative ways to get more vegetables into my diet, and for me, this is it. Whether it's using zucchini noodles as a low-carb pasta substitute or just making everyday dishes visually more appealing, this unit allows me to increase my veggie intake in surprising ways. The other thing we need to talk about is how the uniform slices actually do make the dishes taste better. For instance, when I slice the cucumber by hand, it never tastes quite as wonderful as when I use the slicing blade, creating a perfectly uniform slice and a perfectly uniform taste. I am telling you, it makes everything look and taste better. It also does the hard work for you. I have owned manual spiralizers, from a hand crank one to one that really punches the wrist. The manual units had acceptable results, but the abuse to my body, it just wasn't worth it, especially if I was going to be spiralizing multiple vegetables. It was rough, okay? But the KitchenAid Spiralizer is so physically easy to use. I am just in awe of the difference, and I appreciate it so much. And because it's mechanical, the spiralizing goes so much faster. So if you're doing large batches, they will get done in a fraction of the time. And the storage system is flawlessly designed. It is simple, elegant, easy to use, and a safe way to store the blades, which is probably the most important thing to me. The bottom line is, this unit is easy to work with, and the results are awesome. I am so glad that I bought this. And by the way, I did buy this. Nobody sent me this product. I bought this and I am so glad that I did. I already have the stand mixer, so it was really just a perfect add-on for me. Now, most of you probably already own the KitchenAid stand mixer, but if you don't, let me tell you, this stand mixer is one of the most awesome investments I have ever made. It makes my time in the kitchen so much easier and more fun. And there are so many other awesome KitchenAid attachments available that work directly with the stand mixer. In fact, I recently did a review of KitchenAid's ice cream maker attachment, and I will leave a link to that in the description for you. Honestly, I am so happy that I bought the KitchenAid Spiralizer attachment, and I am going to be using this for years to come. If you'd like to check out the Spiralizer attachment or any of the other products in this video, I've provided links in the description below. The full Spiralizer recipes are in the description as well. For more reviews and recipes, subscribe to Simple Fantastic Kitchen. I'll see you on the next one.